All right, so on today's menu, I have this beautiful pan-roasted ribeye, cheesy polenta, surrounded by this wonderful port reduction infused with some herbs and garlic. Super simple dish. This is actually a request on Instagram, so let me give this a go and see what you guys think. All right, so we got this pan on medium to high heat. We're gonna add our water. Make sure you season it with a little bit of salt. And then as soon as this starts to lick off a little bit of steam, you're gonna add in your coarse ground cornmeal. As it starts to cook, just don't stop whisking, otherwise it can lump up a little bit. It's important that you just keep moving this around, because what happens is there's a cake on the bottom that wants to form and it can burn, and it'll thicken up pretty shortly after you add the cornmeal to the water. This is maybe 2 minutes in. Now we're gonna add in our butter, a little bit of cream, then we're gonna add some Parmesan cheese, a good helping of Parm. Give this a good whisk, and these are ready to go. All right, let's taste this. This is really, really good. All right, so now I'm gonna cover this. This will thicken up ever so slightly over the next 10 to 15 minutes and kind of reach an equilibrium. Be mindful if you need to rehydrate it, but I'm gonna let this sit on the back stove in a warm spot while I make my port reduction. So I got this small saute pan, medium to low heat. Got some cheap port. You don't have to get anything too expensive with this. And here I have some roasted dark chicken stock from a half roasted chicken the other day that we made, and it's gonna work perfectly with this port reduction. It's almost like a 3-to-1 ratio, 3 parts pork to 1 part beef or chicken stock. And we're gonna add in some thyme, a bit of rosemary, some crushed garlic. We're gonna add in a few black peppercorns and give it a little earthiness. And then we're gonna reduce this for another 5 to 10 minutes until it just coats the back of a spoon. It's not quite there yet, but while I'm letting that reduce, I'm gonna start on my ribeye steak. Let's get this out of the way, do a little housekeeping, and get my ribeye steak. This has been sitting in the fridge for a day, uncovered, and it is looking mighty fine. I don't know if you can tell or not, but this has just this sort of this dryness to it. The fat has a little bit of dryness to it. This is just gonna help make a beautiful sear on this. I'm gonna season this with some salt, no pepper. I'll put pepper on it to finish. Turn the heat up to high. Once that pan starts to lick off that white smoke, just render some of the fat on that one side. And once you have a nice rendering, put this down on the bottom of the pan and give it a good sear on both sides. Make sure you give it a little bit of motion and a pat every once in a while, because sometimes the meat wants to buckle a little bit in the center. Move it to the hot side of the pan, because wherever it's sitting, it's gonna wanna cool down the fastest. So you kind of just push it over to the other side and it'll heat up real quick. Give it a flip. Beautiful. All right, now we got a really good sear on this, both sides. And then I'm gonna put it in this tray that has butter, garlic, thyme, and a little bit of rosemary. And instead of adding it to the pan like you see a lot of steak videos, I'm just gonna let it rest in this butter mixture right on top of all those wonderful flavors. That port reduction is done. Just to give you guys kind of idea, this is what you're looking for right there. This is just exactly what you're shooting for with a reduction. Beautiful, really, really good with duck or like braised chicken legs, maybe a little cherry juice in there. Okay, so port reduction is done. The creamy, cheesy polenta is ready to go. The last thing I'm gonna do is sear off my steak one more time. I used to do this at a steakhouse. That's how we served all of our steaks. We'd sear them off to order, get them almost to temp, and then finish them off with high heat, either on the grill or on a hot pan. I'm just gonna flash it. All right, I mean, we're talking less than 45 seconds on each side. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Couple little dollops, nothing too fancy. Right on top of each other. A few pieces of the Absolutely perfect steak. The reduction right around the edge. Kind of on that edge. Sea salt and some coarse black pepper right over the top. You can be a little messy with it if you want. Thyme leaves, creamy polenta, pan-seared ribeye, and a port reduction.